Dear student, in our last class we learned one important device called a meter bridge. To understand the meter bridge, we consider a concept called Wheatstone network or Wheatstone bridge. For meter bridge, major working principle is Wheatstone network or Wheatstone bridge under balance condition that we learn. By using meter bridge, how we can measure the unknown resistance, that also we learn. And once you get the value of unknown resistance of a wire or given material of a wire, we can easily find out the resistivity of a given material of a wire. That already I explained. Istana kaltideve last class alli. Meter bridge ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಅದರ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್, ಅದರ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, ಅದರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರುವ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ Wheatstone network or Wheatstone bridge, that we already learned. Today we start with the new concept, is nothing but potentiometer. In last class I already told there will be a major two important application of potentiometer is there, that also we are going to discuss today. And first we discuss what is the meaning of potentiometer and what is the working principle of potentiometer, and along with that we discuss a few important terms related to potentiometer. First we start with potentiometer. Dear student, potentiometer is the device used to measure the potential difference in a circuit. Potentiometer is the device used to measure the potential difference in a circuit. Again I repeat, potentiometer is the device used to measure the potential difference in a circuit. And next important term under this is nothing but working principle of the potentiometer. And under working principle of the potentiometer, commonly this part they're going to ask for 1 marks. Again is one of the important question in case of practical part also. They're going to ask this question in Viva. What is the working principle of potentiometer? And again it is important for 1 mark. The working principle of potentiometer is the potential drop across any section of a wire of uniform cross section and composition. I repeat, the potential drop across any section of a wire of uniform cross section and composition is proportional, is nothing but directly proportional to length of that section. Remember the word length of that section. If constant current flows through it, again it is one of the important condition, constant current flows through it. What is the working principle of potentiometer? Means the potential drop across any section of a wire of uniform cross section and composition, is proportional to length of that section if a constant current flows through it, is the working principle of potentiometer. Again remember, the word potential drop is nothing but energy spent to overcome the resistance of a wire of any cross section or uniform cross section and composition is proportional to length. I already told, as the length goes on increases, resistance of a given material of a wire also goes on increases, and if a constant current flows through it, is the working principle of potentiometer. We can verify this by using this diagram or circuit along with these steps. Dear student, here simple circuit I provided. In this simple circuit, AB represent the length of the wire. It may be 1 meter, it may be a 50 centimeter, it may be a 2 meter, any length you take, where AB is the wire of suitable length L. It may be any length, it having suitable area of cross section, and area of cross section change ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. For a given material of a wire, you already know about that, resistivity is fixed, resistivity constant irutte, length increase aadaga resistance change agutte. There are two things you learn, resistance and resistivity. Dear student, resistance of a given material of a wire depending on a 4 important factor that we already learn. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಲೆಂತ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಏರಿಯಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇಂದ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಗೆ resistance of a given material of a wire goes on changes. And the second term is called resistivity. Resistivity depending on only 2 important factor. ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಮಾತ್ರ. Resistivity is independent of length, depend agiralla length mele. It is independent of area mele depend agilla, but it depending on temperature and nature of material. Illi ಒಂದು wire ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅದರ length L ಇದೆ, it got a suitable area of cross section, it got a suitable radius, and not only that, it maintaining certain temperature, room temperature. Along with that, nature of metal is nothing but it may be a copper or it may be aluminum or it may be a steel. Particular material of wire is given. Here AB represent the length of the wire. It may be L length, I already said. It got length is equal to L. That one end of the wire A is connected to a cell of suitable EMF as well as internal resistance. You may neglect the internal resistance also. If internal resistance is negligible, then you have to take it as 0. It got a suitable EMF. It provide energy. And again it is connected to A. A is nothing but ammeter. Ammeter is a device used to measure the current. And again it is connected to RH, where RH represent the rheostat. There are 3 terminals are there. These 2 are called lower terminals. These 2 are called lower terminals. Dear student, I already explained about rheostat. These 2 are called lower terminal. This arrow mark part indicates the upper terminal. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಲೋವರ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಲೋವರ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಈಸ್ kept blank, it is not connected, and upper terminal is connected to another end of the wire B. And again A is connected to a voltmeter, another end is connected to a slider. ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಸ್ಲೈಡರ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, and that slider or jockey represented by using arrow mark. Remember, ಈ particular point CLA voltmeter providing certain voltage. This particular length we call it as balancing length. And again here simple logic, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು potential difference ಇದೆ, that depending on L, and again that potential difference may varies. Remember, the voltmeter is connected, C is the point, and in between these 2 points you have to measure the potential. And by using this circuit, there will be a potential drop between V and C. There will be a potential drop between A and C is measured with the help of voltmeter. That potential drop V is equal to I into R according to Ohm's law. Dear student, where R is the resistance for this particular length of the wire, automatically resistance is equal to rho L divided by A, where rho is the resistivity of a material of a wire, L is the length of the given material of a wire, and A is the area of cross section. Automatically we can write this as V is equal to I into rho L divided by A. Rearrange this equation as V is equal to I rho divided by A into L. I clearly said it will draw given a constant current, given material is fixed, resistivity is also constant, and area of cross section is also constant. Only thing is we are going to change the length to measure the different potential. Automatically V is equal to I rho divided by A into L. I into rho divided by A itself is called a constant that we call it as pi. The above equation becomes V is equal to pi L, where pi is the potential difference per unit length. Pi is equal to V by L, and by using this we can say that pi is equal to V divided by L, potential difference per unit length. And remember, by seeing this equation we can say that V is proportional to L for a given proportionality constant called pi. That is the working principle of potentiometer. That is nothing but the potential drop across any section of wire of uniform cross section and composition. Composition means area, even length, even temperature and other things, is proportional to length of that section. If a constant current drawn through it, that indicates that V proportional to L is the working principle of potentiometer. V proportional to L. Is that clear? Yes. Dear student, continuation of this next part, application of potentiometer. Dear student, under application of potentiometer we are going to discuss 2 important applications. One is to compare the EMFs of 2 different cells, and the second one is to find the internal resistance of a cell. These 2 are the applications we're going to learn one by one. First application under potentiometer, to compare the EMFs of 2 cells. Now this one is a circuit. The same circuit we're going to use in a lab, and this experiment also we're going to do in a lab to compare the EMFs of two different cells. This experiment is there in lab. Dear student, here I consider battery, BA represent the battery. It is connected to a rheostat, or we say that variable resistor R, and with the help of key K1. Here A to C, here I consider length of the wire is L. Here I taken a total length of the wire from A to C. It value may not be a 1 meter. 1 meter it may be a 400 meter, it may be a 4 meter or 400 centimeter, or it may be a 6 meter anyway. This AC represent the length of the wire, and terminal A is connected to a two cells. Two cells, one cell of EMF E1, another cell got a EMF is equal to E2, is connected to a one more instrument. This instrument is called two-way key. Here this instrument is called two-way key. Here three knobs are there, and again it acts like a two-way key, or it is a two keys. Its work exactly equivalent to two key. That's why it is called two-way key. If I put the knob in between 1 and 2 terminal, this cell will work. If I put the knob in between 2 and 3 terminal, automatically cell E2 will work. Again, it is connected to a device called a galvanometer. Galvanometer is connected to one more device. It's called slider or jockey. I already told about slider or jockey in our last class. And depending on slider and jockey, you have to move along AC at a particular length. In between AC, the galvanometer will show zero deflection. That particular length we call it as balancing length. That particular length is called balancing length. And again, this is about circuit. Again, we discuss in detail about this. If I consider, in case of this circuit, if I consider in between 1 and 2 knob is closer. If 1 and 2, the knob is closer or key is closer, automatically we get the balancing length somewhere here. Imagine ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ balancing length ಬಂತು. This particular point I call it as N1. N1 is the null point. In this particular length from A to N1, we get galvanometer deflection is 0. Galvanometer deflection is 0. That indicates that no current flowing through a galvanometer. No current flowing through a galvanometer. Again, remember, in between 1 and 2 knob, if key is closer, automatically cell E1 start working, and again circuit completed like this. Circuit completed like this. This one is act like a one loop. Somewhere along the length AC, if I move the slider arrow mark, somewhere at a point N1, I will get a zero deflection in a galvanometer. This particular point N1 is called a null point, where we get the galvanometer deflection is equal to 0. And by using this, you have to think about Kirchhoff's law. Apply Kirchhoff's loop rule. Apply Kirchhoff's loop rule to the loop. To the loop. Apply Kirchhoff's loop rule to the loop A, N1, G, 2, 1, and again come back to A. I write A, N1, G, 2, 1, again it is to a point A. Apply Kirchhoff's loop rule to the loop A to N1, N1 to G, G to 2, 2 to 1, 1 to again it come back to point A. Using this loop A, N1, G2, 1 to A, here you already know about that cell E1, EMF E1 provide the energy. This length of the wire I taken as L1. Up to this point length is equal to L1. It is called a balancing length. For this balancing length there will be a potential drop, energy user. This cell will provide the energy. This length of the wire AN1, oil length is equal to L1. It utilizes energy. There will be a potential drop. Automatically we can say that EMF E1 minus pi into L1, that is according to working principle of potentiometer. Potential drop between two ends of the wire, that should be is equal to pi L1, where pi is the potential drop per unit length or potential difference per unit length. Here pi into L1, working principle of potentiometer. Not only that, is this galvanometer uses energy? No, because current flowing through a galvanometer is equal to 0. Automatically there is no potential drop. This cell will provide the energy. This length of the wire, you want to use the energy. This one is the energy provider. This length of the wire, L1, is the energy utilizer. Energy provider is equal to energy utilizer. That's why Kirchhoff's loop rule verify the laws of conservation of energy. That should be equal to 0. This one is for cell of EMF E1. This one is according to potential meter working principle. Potential drop between A and N1 is pi L1, and energy used by the galvanometer, potential drop across the galvanometer is equal to 0, because current flow is equal to 0 equation I got. By using this, EMF E1 is equal to pi into L1, I call it as equation 1. Similarly, you have to think about a second cell E2. Again, by using second cell E2, remove this key, switch on the key in between 2 and 3. Either naduve, if I keep the knob, either middle knob and fix madde, automatically cell E2 start working now. Now again we get the balancing length, second balancing length somewhere illide anta enಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, second balancing length. This particular point I call it as N2. Here balancing length A2, here what is that? N2. Automatically this providing a balancing length is equal to L2. This L2 length got a suitable resistance, there will be a potential drop, and again by using this current flowing through a galvanometer for this particular point, by using a cell E2 we got 0. That indicates that N2 is the null point by using the second cell of EMF E2. Again, next step, apply Kirchhoff's loop rule to the loop. Yavudega A2 N2, A N2 galvanometer, again 2 3, again come back to A. That indicates that A N2 galvanometer, next point is 2 3 naduve I already switch on the circuit. Again it come back to point A. Apply Kirchhoff's loop rule to the loop. A2 N2, N2 to G, G2 2, 2 to 3, 3 to again A. Again here by using a cell of EMF E2 we got the balancing length at a point. N2 is called null point, where galvanometer gives 0 deflection. Automatically energy provider is cell of EMF E2. Energy provider is cell of EMF E2. Energy utilizer by the length AN2, his length is equal to L2, by using the working principle of potentiometer, that is minus pi into L2 plus 0. Energy used by the galvanometer is equal to 0. Potential drop in a galvanometer is equal to 0 because 0 deflection. And this is the point is called a null point. We get the 0 deflection in a galvanometer. That should be equal to 0. On simplification we got E2 is equal to pi L2. I call it as equation number 2. I got the 2 equation by considering a 2 loop. Dear student, in a lab also we are going to use the same method. First you have to activate in between 1 and 2 in a two-way key. And the second step you will activate in between 2 and 3 in case of second cell E2. By using that we got the 2 balancing length L1 and L2. L1 for cell E1, L2 for cell of EMF E2. After getting 2 equation 1 divided by equation 2, it gives EMF E1 divided by EMF E2 is equal to pi L1 divided by pi L2. Automatically here pi is nothing but potential drop per unit length. For a given material of a wire, the potential drop per unit length is fixed. Automatically here pi and pi gets cancelled. We got EMF E1 divided by EMF E2 is equal to L1 divided by L2. Remember, this is the final equation by using comparison of EMFs of two cells. Is that clear? Right. Is again one of the important part. This working principle potentiometer you learn, that is important, and equation E1 by E2 should be equal to L1 by L2. It is called comparison of EMF of two different cells. Is that clear? Right. Dear student, second application part of potentiometer is called to find the internal resistance of a cell. Again, this experiment also, or this part also, we are going to do in a lab to find the internal resistance of a cell by using potentiometer. Circuit is similar to comparison of EMF, only difference is and cell, key K2 and resistance box. This part is different, remaining part is as it is what we learn in comparison of EMFs of two different cells. Dear student, here BA represent the battery, it is a variable resistor, you can use a rheostat also, key K1, and A to C is the length of the wire. Its length may be any value, I already told. It may be 1 meter, it may be 4 meter, or it may be 6 meter. The terminal A, starting end of the wire, is connected to a key K2 with the help of a resistance box. Here RB represent the resistance box. Again, terminal A is connected to cell of EMFE, internal resistance R, that you have to calculate, and these two combined together is connected to galvanometer. This galvanometer is connected to a slider as well as I already told jockey, and again by using that slider or jockey with the help of galvanometer you have to find out the balancing length by considering the null point. Null point is a particular point in between A and C in a length of the wire where we get the zero deflection in a galvanometer, that we call it as null point, that I already said. And again, in case of this, the working of or procedure of to find the internal resistance like this, here it contains two key K1 and K2. Out of two key, K1 first you have to close, K2 is open. K2 ಅನ್ನು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡಬೇಕು, K1 ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. When I close the key K1, automatically this circuit start working. It is start working between A ಇಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು E ಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. This part is not working. After closing K1, K2 is open. And second part in a procedure, both K1 and K2 are closed, then you have to find out one more balancing length. There are two parts, K1 is closer, K2 is open. We have to note down the null point, it's called balancing length L1. Second part, K1 and K2 both are closer, we have to find out one more null point, balancing length bar suitable value of resistance, that we call it as L2. These two things you have to do. K1 is closer, K2 is open, both are closer. These two things you have to consider. Now again here, first K1 is closer, K1 is closer, K2 is open. You have to note down the balancing length. What is that? L1. You have to note down the balancing length L1. That balancing length, it may be somewhere here. Imagine ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಇದೆ. That particular point I call it as N1. N1 is the null point. A to N1 providing a balancing length is equal to L1. And again here in this particular point, galvanometer provide zero deflection or current flowing through galvanometer becomes zero. And which circuit will activate here? K2 is open. Illinda current flow agalla. You have to skip this line. Automatically which loop will activate means here A in the N1, N1 in the G, G in the cell, again illi baratte A. Automatically you have to apply the Kirchhoff's loop rule. Again apply Kirchhoff's loop rule to the loop A to N1, A to N1, N1 to G, N1 to G, G to again A, G to again it is connected to A. That indicates that this loop A in the N1, N1 in the G, G in the cell, cell in the puna A. Idu condition. Again here, this cell is the energy provider, correct? Cell is the energy provider. Automatically this length AN1 got a suitable resistance. It is the energy used. There will be a potential drop. Automatically energy used by a galvanometer is 0. That clearly gives idea that EMF E minus pi into L1 plus 0 is equal to 0. Same kind of equation you learn. Here EMF is E, pi into L1 is the potential drop between A and 1, and potential drop across galvanometer is equal to 0. And again it becomes E is equal to pi into L1. I call it as equation number 1. Again you have to consider second part is nothing but K1 and K2 both are closed. K1 and K2 both are closed. The ಎರಡು key close ಆಗಿದೆ. Then you have to note down the balancing length is L2. Again, when you're going to consider that, automatically that loop becomes like this. Here, galvanometer providing a balancing length somewhere. ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಎನ್ಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ is N2. It provide a length is equal to L2. Loop is like this. A in the N2, N2 in the G, G in the resistance box, illinda illi baratte. Keep one point clearly in your mind. This cell and resistance box, how they connected? Parallel. And this cell and resistance box both are connected in parallel. Automatically this cell, whatever it provide energy, that should be, we call it as potential, terminal potential, that we call it as V. This ಎರಡರಿಂದ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿ, remember, without connecting the resistance it provide energy E itself, but here it provided terminal potential V. And again by using this we can say that here energy utilizer is by using length L2 by using A and 2 point, correct? Illi energy use ಆಗೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು? 0 deflection in the galvanometer. Cell ಮತ್ತು resistor ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿ I will get the total potential is equal to V. Supply ಆಗಿರೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು? Terminal potential difference. By considering the Kirchhoff's loop rule, apply Kirchhoff's loop rule to the loop. A N2 galvanometer. Again it come over here is nothing but I call it resistance box to A. Resistance box to A. After closing K2 also, this entire system will work. Effective will get. And again here A in the N2 ke energy utilize ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲೆಷ್ಟು 0. Total provide ಮಾಡುವ energy is to V, because directly cell is not connected here. Cell and resistance box connected in parallel. Automatically energy provided by a cell it not exactly E, it is equal to V ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That's why V minus pi into L2 according to the working principle of potentiometer, pi into L2 plus 0 is equal to 0, energy used by the galvanometer. That becomes V is equal to pi into L2. I got equation number 2. After getting two equations, you have to simplify further to get the answer for internal resistance of a cell. Is that clear? Right. Then equation 1 divided by equation 2, that gives EMF E divided by potential E divided by V is equal to pi and pi both are same, gets cancelled. We got L1 divided by L2. Dear student, you know the formula for electric current, that is nothing but I is equal to EMF divided by R plus R. Electric current in case of cell is EMF divided by R plus R. R is the external resistance, small r is the internal resistance. And again by using this we got EMF is equal to I into R plus R. Not only that, we know the formula for V also. V is equal to I into R. You have to make use of these two formula. This formula you already learned, and it's according to Ohm's law. These two formula you have to substitute over here. In place of E you have to substitute I into R plus R. In place of V you have to substitute I into R. Then simplify further, you will get the answer for internal resistance. After simplification, here it becomes I into R plus R divided by I into R is equal to L1 divided by L2. Here I and I gets cancelled. It becomes R divided by R. It becomes 1. Small r divided by, again it is capital R. That gives 1 plus small r divided by capital R is equal to L1 divided by L2. Simplify further, here it becomes R divided by capital R is equal to L1 divided by L2 minus 1. That implies small r internal resistance is L1 divided by L2 minus 1 into capital R is the formula for internal resistance. Dear student, here external resistance we can remove by using a resistance box. That is nothing but value for R is from resistance box, and L1 is for closing, K1, K2 is open, L2 is for both K1 and K2 are closed. This is the formula for internal resistance. Is that clear? Right. Up to here, this complete chapter is completed. The remaining thing we'll discuss in next video. Thank you.